Well, has 2020 been a brutal year for you? Well, today I'm here to announce that hope is on the way. Today on Finding Traction. I think most of us had such high hopes for 2020. All of those great vision talks, 2020 vision, great theme for the coming years. We went from, 2019 into 2020. But then 2020 happened. Some of the problems could have been foreseen, like this whole divisive political climate. We knew that 2020 was an election year, and so we found ourselves arguing with friends and family over crazy, stupid things that didn't really matter and we didn't really have a huge effect over anyways. But you know what? Some of that negative stuff you could say was mostly foreseeable. But then none of us foresaw or were prepared for this global pandemic that hit us in February, March of this last year. Everything that we knew and loved came grinding to a halt. And then we made it through the first wave and we go, okay, we survived. The zombie apocalypse never happened and it looked like things were getting back on track. And then the second wave hit. And all of that was taken away from us again. And I can't even bump elbows with my friends anymore. I mean, how much does that suck? And they say the worst hasn't even hit us yet, as a result of Thanksgiving and then coming Christmas and the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day celebration. They say the result of those infections are going to crash upon us. Hospital beds are full, and I'm tired of wearing a mask all day when I go into stores or go into school. And let me just say, I realize that I'm one of the fortunate ones. I know so many people have lost loved ones to this pandemic. So I sit up here on the west coast of Canada, and the rains have just started. The darkness is upon us. It feels like Mordor sometimes in Lord of the Rings. When I get up, it's dark in the morning till 7 or 8 in the morning. The sun goes down at 4 p.m. Today we had a rainfall warning. That's what happens when it really rains here, as opposed to just mostly raining. Needless to say, things are feeling pretty bleak. I would think that for most of us, the shutdown and being at home and isolated probably didn't help us with porn struggles as well. I heard that some porn suppliers were offering free unlimited porn as a special gift to shut-ins. The verse that, be better for you if a millstone was hung around your neck and you were drowned, comes to mind when I think of some of those providers and how they've caused people to stumble. But, that adds to the woes. Marriages have struggled. Mental health has struggled. This whole season has added to the sense of feeling overwhelmed. For those of us who struggled over the years with addictive porn struggles and other behaviors, I know some of you have lost hope. It's like you're walking every day to school and this bully appears out of the alley and demands your lunch money. And then he goes through your pockets just to make sure you're not holding out on him. And he walks away laughing with your lunch money. And so you try to stand up, you take these self-defense classes or assertiveness training, and he just laughs at you and pushes you down again. I think a lot of us, have become used to just living through the day with having porn steal our lunch money. Last, podcast, we talked about Stop the Steal. And it has felt for so many of us that we've just lost hope in this battle. But then something appears on the horizon that gives us hope. Today in the United Kingdom, it was the very first day that the people there started to take a vaccine by Pfizer. Apparently, the vaccine will be coming to our shores in North America in the next few weeks or maybe a month or two. And all of a sudden, there's the glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, we can get back to life in some semblance of what we knew it to be, where we can be with our families and celebrate. We can go to church. We could travel across the border. Half of my family is south of the border, and we can't cross the border to see them. All of those things that I took for granted before now seem they've been taken away, but now there's a glimmer of hope that things could be better. I don't know about you, but I crave hope. For me, a vaccine represents hope for a brighter tomorrow. That 2021 does not have to look and feel like 2020. That we won't need to go through the same restrictions and suffering that so many people have experienced over this last year. I crave the idea that things could be getting better. One of the dates that I always look for in the calendar up here is December 21st. Now, December 21st is the shortest amount of sunlight that we get all year. And after December 21st, even by a few minutes a day, we get more sunlight. Now, it's kind of crazy because January is actually our coldest month when winter really sets in, but at least I know that the days are getting longer following December 21st. I crave the idea that things could be getting better, that there is possible hope. One of the movies that we watched with our kids when they were younger, it was a family night movie. They didn't like it, but I thought it was great, was the movie The Postman with Kevin Costner in it. And it was this post-apocalyptic show, and the whole societies had been destroyed, and there was these huddling bands of refugees spread throughout the country. And Kevin Costner was this postman that would travel around to these little remnants of people. And he had this line that he repeated that people craved, and this is what it was. Things are getting better. Hope. Things are getting better. We crave hope. We need it to replace the hopelessness that our future will not simply be a rehash of what has gone before. So let me ask you this question. When it comes to your struggles and your battles with porn, is there any hope on your horizon? Do you actually believe that you could kick it out of your life for good, permanently? That there could be a future where this no longer stole from you and kick you in the nuts on a regular basis, and that you could permanently stop the steal? I'm not somebody that insists that everybody has to walk in my shoes or is going to experience freedom or momentum just like I've experienced. But I want to make an observation from somebody who battled porn for decades and who has found freedom in terms of seeing it out of my life. I am firmly convinced that we cannot find hope on our own. I don't believe we're designed to find hope on our own. Some guys who are religious go, you know what? Yeah, I have hope. I find my hope in God. And I get that. God is a God of hope, it says in the Bible. But I believe that God has designed hope to be a shared experience. Hope needs to come to us. Hope needs to manifest itself to us with skin on. I don't believe that we can have a solid, permanent grip on hope, despite how many verses we've memorized. We need to experience hope from other people. I mean, sure, I meet guys that are a little bit like Tigger, and they're bouncing around, and they have this hyper sort of upbeat thing. But oftentimes, if you look at their lives, I also find they crash, and then they hide themselves from people, and they only emerge when they can put on that sort of everything is great sort of facade. I tend to avoid people like that. I believe that the best kind of hope is shared hope. Hope passed from one person to another. If there was a good virus that's passed from one person to another, I believe the virus that needs to replace COVID-19 is the virus of hope. When I started out, in terms of this last four or 5 years, the thing that helped me turn a corner was being with a group of guys who had gone before me. I found in them a confidence, a shared hope. Their story rubbed off on me. I felt like I could truly change because I saw hope in the eyes and the stories of other people. The inspiration that if they could do it, then I could do it. I've started groups online as well, and I've seen a similar dynamic as 4 or 5 guys begin to get together around a common focus of seeing their lives change for the good. In the first few weeks, it's like they're all testing each other. How safe is this? How vulnerable can I be? And you get this kind of testing thing that happens. But over time, I see this dynamic begin to change where the guys are calling each other and connecting with one another. And the synergy begins to happen. And to quote an old AA saying, we can do what I can't do. Let me say that again. We can do what I cannot do. And I think that applies for hope. I needed hope and confidence that came out of a shared experience. In a few weeks, we're going to be turning the corner on 2020. I think this New Year's Eve will probably have a special poignancy to it as people go, I am ready to turn the calendar. But my question for you is, are you ready to turn the calendar and experience a new hope this coming year? Or is 2021 simply going to be a repeat of 2020? Perhaps without the COVID virus, if the vaccine comes, but your old patterns are going to simply continue. I hope as you look at making changes and you open yourselves up to hope, that you will be willing to say, I need to journey with a group of guys. I need to travel with a group of guys to experience this shared hope, because I have been trying for years to battle this with just me or me and my wife or, whatever it is. And I need something beyond what I've experienced to this point. In January, we're going to be starting some new online groups, virtual groups. Some groups are just regular guys. Others are for leaders. But I would love to hear from you. If you would love to get in one of those groups, then email me at bandofbrothers@shaw.ca. January 2021, we're starting new groups. And as you get ready for 2021, I want to promise to you that hope is on the way. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.